Oh, I won't back down. Oh, I can't back down. You could stand me up at the gates of hell, or maybe the Degrassi black hole. I know I have many weird opinions, but I know it's right to tell you why I can think of 10 things that I can't let go, and I won't back down. It's a matter of fact with Emma is that she's one of the most hated characters on the Degrassi Reddit for what she did in her 9 years on the show. It's also a matter of fact that Emma is a clingy friend, especially to Manny in a sense. The signs were kind of there, especially after season 5, by season 5 and beyond, that Emma wanted to cling on Manny as a friend because she had little control of her life. After all, the Rick Murray situation did change her quite a bit. I talked about how she was a clingy friend, but there's another clinginess with Emma that you should know about, and that's her being a clingy girlfriend. The matter of fact is, was Emma a clingy girlfriend or not? I tell you why she was a clingy girlfriend and how it wasn't always this way. And it wasn't the Rick situation that got her to be a clingy girlfriend. She was just a clingy girlfriend in one way or the other in many relationships. And I'll talk about that now. So, I've gone through a lot of videos criticizing Emma on how she was a clingy boyfriend, clingy girlfriend, if you will, and clingy to being a friend and all that. I talked about how Emma's clinginess to friends stemmed from the Rick Murray situation and the fact that in season 4, Emma completely missed her timing and got herself in trouble with Liberty after trying to prevent Liberty and Chris from dating because in Emma's mind it says that what will people think of me if this happens. I mean, Emma never cared about what people thought about her causes and her effects, and yet she cares about the boyfriend now? Where was this Emma beforehand? And a lot of people said, oh, Emma must have had a glow up, and Emma probably wanted a boyfriend because she wanted boys to go after her. Now, did a Reddit post saying, well, were there any boys that went after Emma? And a lot of said, well, Chris and Sean did. Well, Sean did season 6 and maybe Chris. I don't know if Chris went after Emma. I think Emma wanted to go after Chris. So that's the thing. Of course, what you got is a failure to communicate. But the fact of the matter is that Emma completely has dropped the ball on many things, including trying to find a suitable boyfriend. So we're going to go through and do a case study on every relationship Emma practically had from season 3 onwards and see how clingy she really was. For context, I have to hunch over because the sun is kind of in my eyes. Okay, there we go. Well, anyway, so just had to tell you. But regardless of that, so case study number 1 is about Emma in season 3. So Emma and Sean got back together in the middle of season 2, kind of consummating things at Spike and Snake's wedding. So they were back, they were a decent couple, and then all of a sudden this black cloud by the name of Jay Hogarth just had to start pondering. And the fact of the matter is that Jay had some bad stuff to him. He was impressed with Sean. Jay and Sean actually had a fight off school grounds, yet they were both put to the principal's office, and Jay was impressed by Sean's body of work, saying that Sean did a fantastic job, and was impressed. He heard about Sean deafening a kid and wanted Sean to join his Candy Bandits. Now, I know that it wasn't officially named the Candy Bandits and that the internet named it, but that's what I'm going with. So the Candy Bandits were doing their job and all that, and Sean was interested. Emma was upset with Sean that he would rather be with those guys than be with her. I mean, Emma was struggling. I mean, Snake had his leukemia scare, and she had to deal with baby Jack, so she felt responsibility, and Sean thought that Emma was no fun. Emma calls Sean pathetic. Sean slams the locker in front of Emma, trying to scare her, but Emma doesn't flinch. Bad move. Badass move. Anyway, Emma, in a few episodes, seemed like she was going after Sean. I mean, yeah, Sean stole Snake's laptop to get back at Emma for calling him pathetic and all that. But the fact of the matter is that Sean did a lot of horrible things to Emma, and Emma was getting Sean back. Emma was persuading them that Sean stole the stuff from the school. They couldn't prove it, but Radish does get Sean in trouble by the fact that Sean insults Radish. And Emma feels happy about it, but Chris calls her out on it, saying that, you know, this wasn't about Snake's laptop. This is about getting revenge on Sean because Sean's found somebody, and he found Amy. Emma's like, no, it's just all about Snake and, of course, Sean. Of course, Emma and Chris nearly break up. Emma gets Chris back somehow. I don't think Emma deserved to get Chris back. So the fact of the matter is that Emma wanted Sean. And Chris was right in a sense. That the fact of the matter was that Emma was probably wanted to be with Sean. And why else would she care about Sean? If she would not want Sean around, she wouldn't care less about him. But Sean just was Sean. What do you expect? So the fact of the matter is that Emma was not too pleased with things. But the fact of the matter was that, you know, the whole Emma Chris situation in season 3 went bananas. I mean, Emma and Chris broke up over the summer, and Emma may have broken up with Chris thinking that she could find someone better because of her glow up, but no one bit. So she was like, maybe I should be with Chris. But she made bad moves about Chris, saying that Liberty shouldn't be with him because, you know, what does that do for my reputation? And it's like, how dare she think that way? So anyway, Emma made a mistake, in a sense. But I feel that Emma wanted to be with Sean that way. And that's not the first time. Or the last. That won't be the last time that she would want Sean. Emma basically decided that, you know, she would try to find a boy. After she found nobody, Rick was pining for her. And Rick was happy that Emma basically saved him from a shellacking from the bullies. And in his mind, he thought that Emma was doing it out of love. But Emma was doing it out of pity. And after all, they did take her cause wrong. And I guess in the back of her mind, she was upset that they didn't take the cause seriously. She wanted to be the cause girl after all. Even though she said she didn't want to be the cause girl. Unfortunately, after Emma rejects Rick one too many times in Rick's mind, Rick decides to go to the school with a gun. But remember, he was going after Paige first. After all, if he wanted Emma before Paige, he would have pulled the gun at Emma at the picnic table. But no, he went after Paige, but then after Paige apologized for everything, Rick had to put the gun down. So Rick puts the gun down, and the fact of the matter is that, you know, it just had to happen. Rick was shocked, but Rick knew he had to do something right. So he, after shooting Jimmy, decides to go after Emma for spurning him. But Sean, even though he tried to calm Rick down, it led to a gunshot going off, and Rick died via Sean pulling the trigger while wrestling for the gun. Rick is dead, and Emma is shocked. But on Monday, when Snake is talking to Sean, Emma bursts into the meeting room and basically says that everyone's staring at her for what happened, and thanks Sean for saving her life. And practically, you know, she praises him for it. And Snake's like, you got something to work for. So basically Emma was happy and all that. And in Back in Black, when they go to Wasaga, in which Sean basically leaves 4 was got to stay at home and deal with his PTSD. You can tell Emma was upset. Ellie was upset too, but Emma was more upset. In a few unpopular opinions I did, I talked about how Emma wanted Sean in season 4 because, after all, Sean saved her life, and Emma felt like she needed to gravitate towards Sean. So practically, it worked out, and Emma basically was there for the taking. She wanted Sean, and she was upset. And I mean, she didn't really have a major boyfriend for another year. So, what was she to do? I mean, she wanted Sean. Little did she know that Sean would actually pop up into her life. Obviously, I'm going to skip the season 5 one because of obvious reasons. But this is it. So I'm talking about Sean again. So in season 6, Emma's with Peter, and then out of nowhere, Sean pops up and says he would be going to Degrassi and gives hints that he came for Emma, despite the fact that we all should have known that he was with Ellie. It's definitely not an unpopular opinion. Everyone wanted Sean and Ellie to get back together, because after all, Sean and Ellie were good together. But he chose Emma. The fact of the matter is that Emma was happy. After all, she had feelings for Sean. She still did. I mean, after all, she helped Sean get out of jail, and you knew something was fishy. Because if Emma was just towards Peter, then she wouldn't have cared less about Sean. She did allow for Sean to confess to everything and go to jail. But the fact of the matter is that Emma would have been harboring a fugitive, and that would have been trouble. So Emma and Sean were still a couple. Well, Emma was happy with Sean and all that. And the whole Rick Murray situation was a part of it. I think she still had underlying feelings for Sean. After all, he saved her life. And she had survivor's guilt or whatever it was. The fact is that Sean finds out through Jay and Emma, in a sense, that Jay and Emma hooked up. But Emma said that she was emotionally fragile and she didn't know what she was doing. Sean does not take it lying down and decides to leave for the airport. But then, after seeing a picture of him and Emma on a date night, no less, he basically decides, no, I need to be there, and tells Emma that Emma's perfect and he's not. But Emma says she's not perfect. Sean decides to pine for Emma, and Emma likes it. And Emma and Sean had to deal with the whole JT situation. After all, Emma wanted to have sex with Sean and unfortunately got too drunk. But Emma, I think, wanted Sean because of the fact that Sean was listening to her rhetoric after JT's death and all that. And a lot of people said that Emma was just being practically stupid. But the fact of the matter was that it happened at a party that should not have been thrown at Emma's house. And it happened steps from her house. She has a right to freak out about that. She has a right to get that stuff. And I did a opinions that won't back down from Emma in season 6. Or did I? I think I did. Yes, I did. But the fact is that, Sean at least listened to her pleas and all that. And Emma found an audience. Sean, I think, didn't catch on that it was going to be basically an attack on Manny. So, simply put, Emma was not in the right frame of mind, if you will. But yeah, she was. But, at the end of season 6, when Sean, being kicked out of school, he tries the body shop thing, but he finds a calling, the army. And Emma's not too pleased by it, saying that Sean doesn't need the army. You don't need this stuff. Emma decides, maybe I need a fake pregnancy to keep Sean around. But after that, Emma decides, no, I can't be that evil anymore. I have to be a good girl, in effect. And she stays with Sean. She knows Sean's going to go to the army regardless of what she thinks. And, that's not good. But, she wanted to latch on to Sean. She felt like she had the perfect boyfriend. And it didn't work. Little did we know that partial breakup would actually lead to a much bigger breakup and some strangeness. And then we come to season 7. and her relationship with Damien. Now you're thinking, how's that a clingy phase? Well, Emma was still kind of with Sean, but Emma couldn't communicate with Sean, and Emma is upset. She wants Sean to correspond with her, and that's her clinginess. She wanted to grab onto Sean somehow in the army. And then Purple Dragon pops up out of nowhere and wants to sponsor events at Degrassi. And Liberty is hoping Emma would help out with a protest. Emma decides, after Damien makes comments about her being so predictable and bland, that she thought she needs to prove people wrong. Unfortunately, though, that was the wrong way of Emma approaching it. Emma decides to be Purple Dragon Girl, gets in, and Liberty thinks it's an inside job. But Emma says, this is making me popular and I'm happy and everything. Unfortunately, though, the Purple Dragon thing pops out of nowhere. Like, the balloon pops when Natasha, the head of Purple Dragon, tells Emma about that's the biggest stress we have, and basically maybe forcing Emma to do an eating disorder. But after Emma realizes that she can't go down that sickening eating disorder road, in from season 5, she learns that she can't be that way, so she decides to fight back against Purple Dragon. But some Degrassi people, like Coach Armstrong, was not too happy with it. Although Emma was doing the right thing. So Emma basically does all this stuff. Natasha tells her, you can't, make statements about Purple Dragon while wearing the dress. And Emma decides to take off the dress and reveal herself to everybody. Snake looks aghast. Everyone looks aghast. Manny covers Emma up. Emma gets many detentions for her protest, in a sense. Purple Dragon does sponsor stuff, but will change their policies. I think they had to. And Emma is happy about it. And then Emma notices Damien noticing her, and she thinks she's got mission accomplished. So she decides to break up with Sean over the email, practically saying that, she was with Damien and that she's happy. Emma, I think, couldn't wait for Sean. I mean, if Emma was able to wait for Sean, fair enough, but she couldn't. And Damien got to her. So she basically does all this for Damien, and, it's a blossoming relationship. Despite the fact that prior in the school year, or the previous season, if you will, because season 6 and 7 were one school year, she didn't like Damien being with Manny because, Damien was student council president of the school that just basically offed JT. I mean, I understand Emma's problems and all that, but when it comes to things, Emma went a little too far. But she feels good for Damien, and the cleanliness was there for Damien because she decides to get a dog named Rufus Eggers, what type of name is that, to be with Damien, to try to get Damien's heart and all that. And it just didn't seem right that Emma would basically fall for Damien and all that the way she did. Of course, that relationship ends when Damien decides to go after Liberty instead of Emma, who he's supposed to take to prom with. Well, Toby is upset and blasts Damien and blurts it all out. Emma learns things and tells Liberty that although she's angry, she's more angry at Damien for trying to break it up with her than Liberty trying to steal Damien, and says that basically, I don't want to destroy a 6-year friendship, which is like, what the heck? Because I mean, Emma and Liberty rather, were just frenemies, if you will. So Emma, is now left without a boy again, and maybe college will help her find somebody that will remind her of things. So college happens, and Emma basically figures that she has done great things, and she's going to find a guy and, do all that stuff. Of course, she had her own clingy friend phase with the whole being upset with Manny and Liberty being roommates, and she's not with Manny, especially that. And then she fixes things to get Manny and Liberty in the same dorm room, and everyone thought that Emma was just clingy. That is a clingy move, if you will. Emma tried her best intentions. But the fact is that, their roommate Kelly came in, and, Kelly was supposed to be with Manny, and for some strange reason, Kelly chose Emma over Manny, and it was like amazing. Emma found a boy and kept her strength. The only problem was that it just didn't seem to work out much. Yeah, Kelly does make a comment about Emma, about being, you know, vanilla and all that, or whoever does, and Emma takes it to heart a little too much. The simple fact is that Emma made a gigantic boo-boo with her thinking. And logically, she wanted to stay with Kelly. I mean, Kelly wanted to do things. He wanted to eat a burger. He wanted to try things, and Emma just basically bossed him into not doing it. It's apparent that the relationship is about to crack in Holiday Road Season 9 when Emma and Kelly are on this project for recycling bicycles for Africa. And Kelly gets a call or a text from his dad saying that, there's a job for you in the Yukon. Why don't you come up here and work your tail off? And basically that, in a sense, that it's not going to pay, and, Emma's being bossy towards you. So he decides to take the offer to the Yukon, leaving Emma high and dry, having to do the presentation at Degrassi all by herself, and her admitting her faults, that she wanted friends so badly. She was failing in school, and she's just not herself. Spike tells her, do you really need a man to make yourself good? And Emma's like, no, I don't. And then at the end of season 9, it all proves that Emma was lying, and that she and Spinner somehow married. And people were shocked. People were shocked that Sean didn't come back to try to steal Emma, that nobody was trying to ruin Emma and Spinner's nuptials. Well, Jane was, but that was to try to get Spinner, not to get at Emma. But Manny ruins it by fighting Jane, and, that's what happens. Emma did a whole lot of crap with being a clingy girlfriend, and she just wanted a relationship. But it all stems from the Rick situation, and it all came to a head with this, the final case study. If anything at all, this relationship was the reasoning towards being clean for a boyfriend. And yes, it had something to do with the Rick situation, and it was not addressed. So, we start season 5 as Emma and Manny are relaxing by a pool, and Manny talks to Emma, and Emma says that she's in love with this guy named Peter. She wants to be with Peter and all that. It's a summer fling, and says that Peter is the first guy she's liked since Hurricane Sean blew through my emotional trailer park. Now, of course, you can take it two ways. You can take it as the fact that Emma was upset about Sean taking her emotions in season 4. I mean, Sean saved her from a gun and, went to Wasaga Beach, and Emma was not too happy with it. Or, even number 2, is that she talks about Sean in the vernacular that she doesn't really talk about Chris. She leaves Chris out of the equation. And she forgets all about Chris and doesn't want to deal with him. Kind of stupid move, Emma, because, she was good with Chris. People said that it was a good relationship and a low-key relationship that unfortunately didn't work out because of Emma's stupidity sometimes. But the fact is that Emma is shocked when Peter actually comes to Degrassi, and she blurts out, Hi, Peter, I'm Degrassi, or something like that. She's just tongue-tied. And, she likes Peter. Unfortunately, though, even though that she sees Peter at a party, with her and Manny and Peter sneak off together. Although Peter tricks Manny into things and gets her drunk, and Manny flashes Peter, saying, I'm going to be famous. The simple fact is that, Peter blackmails Manny into giving him $3,000 for a camera so that he can, or go out with him. Manny says, why don't we go out? Peter says, no, you can't get the $3,000. Manny tries to because she cancels her plastic surgery, but because it's on the credit card, you can't get cash. So Peter basically takes the video, leaks it to everybody, and Emma reacts badly. in the worst way possible, she blames Manny, saying that, I like this guy. You're trying to take him away from me. Why? If that's not clinginess towards a boyfriend and wanting a boyfriend, I don't know what is. I mean, that's the biggest thing you can take away. One of the biggest things, if you will, you take away from it is that if Emma had been less caring about a boyfriend in a sense, then she would have been right by Manny's side first things first. Instead of having to realize that she jumped to conclusions and made herself look like a twat. So Emma decides she needs to do the right thing and allow Manny to live with her after Manny's parents kick her out. So she needed to do the right thing, and she needed to, try to fix things. I mean, it takes Manny being kicked out of her home for Emma to change things. And it seemed that Emma was ready to destroy Peter for Manny and, keep the friendship going. Unfortunately, though, although I say that Emma was a clingy friend to Manny at times, this was not one of the times. As the simple thing is, if Emma was really much for Manny, she would never have been turned on by Peter's advances. So she decides to revenge porn Peter. But then looking at Peter's pictures, she felt something warm and tingly and all that. And then, she wants to go with Peter. And she's like, maybe I'll go with Peter and not have to worry about Manny. So she's going to date Peter behind Manny's back. Because she just doesn't know how Manny will react. Badly, of course. So Emma decides to do all that hidden stuff just because she wanted to. Just because she thinks she can. So she does all that, and it gets out. Well, it almost gets out when Peter's mom, aka Hatzelekels, decides to kiss Emma's stepdad, aka Snake. And, that relationship with Spike and Snake almost gets destroyed. Snake is kicked out, and Emma feels responsible and tries her best to fix the family, but to no avail. Although she does get Snake and Spike back together. But on the side, she has to worry about what people will think about her and Peter. Manny decides to out Emma's eating disorder to Spike, and Emma blurts out, fine, I'm dating Peter, are you happy? And Manny's like, no, I'm not happy. So anyway, Peter notices that Emma's got problems like an eating disorder and wants to help. Despite the fact that he and Manny are on bad terms with each other, he wants to help. And Emma decides to blow off at everybody, saying that you take advantage of drunk girls to Peter. You are that drunk girl to Manny. And you kissed his mom, as in telling Snake that. I think she wanted to go after Spike, too. But anyway, it all comes to a head. Emma finally decides to snap and kick Manny out of the house. But then she suffers a panic attack and, chaos ensues. She goes to the hospital. She's told to fix her problems, and she vows to. And then by the start of season 6, she's with Peter, and it's a good relationship, and Manny is okay with it, and Emma's like happy about it. And then, Sean pops up in the picture. Emma doesn't give a definitive answer on who she'd rather be with. Of course, that causes Peter to decide, I don't need this, and I need to, prove to Emma that I'm a good boyfriend. So he decides to get rid of the competition, frame Sean for drugs. Emma believes Peter that Peter didn't do it and all that. I think Emma was still with Peter and all that, wanted to be with Peter and didn't really want to be with Sean, even though things were there. And Manny, I think, realized Emma still had feelings for Sean, and maybe Manny realized that Emma wanted to be with Sean. After all, Sean did save her life in that with Rick's gun. And at the masquerade party, Manny tells Emma that all this stuff about how Sean's better than Peter, and Emma's like, well, who held my hand in the hospital? It was Peter. He was helping me out. But that scene was Manny holding Emma's hand. Emma may have mistook it for Peter's hand for Manny's hand, or the fact that maybe Peter held her hand at the hospital later on. That's it. And I thought Manny said, well, who saved you from a gun? Or something like that. But then Manny tells Emma, you got to realize about the mask in your locker. How did Peter put it in? And Emma's like, that's true. And then she gets Peter to confess about the mask in the locker and putting the drugs in the locker, saying for the relationship, and then Emma blurts out that don't ever come near me again. And the fact of the matter is that people were still mad with that, even though that Emma was in the right for getting rid of Peter. That when it comes to Peter hurting Manny, Emma doesn't bat an eye. But when Peter hurts Emma, then she cares. That kind of is stupid. And you also got to know that, you know, Emma was crazy about Peter. She had to be. I mean, she put up with a lot of Peter's crap. She just wanted to be with Peter so badly that it hurts. And, well, it hurt her in the long run because, you know, people did not like Pamela. And Sean may have been used to get rid of Pamela because of how the internet hate was back a couple decades ago. So, yeah. I mean, she had to be clean to be with Peter. I mean, why else would she want to be with Peter after he hurt her best friend and all that? Emma was just, you know, the whole Rick Murray situation changed her mindset and changed her character in more ways than one. She became a clingy friend, she became less involved in causes, and she got more into boys. More wanted to be with boys, wanted to be human like everyone else. And it just hurt. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that Emma was a clingy girlfriend, especially with the Peter situation, because why else wouldn't she be? Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Thanks for watching.